relationships. Segue to intro.
It's very interesting because people. I mean, should we start?
Yeah, there was a good segue to us. What we're talking about. We're talking about relationships today.
Yeah, everything relationship, man. But anyway, it's a follow up from the last one.
Yeah, this would be like part 2.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Hey man, so I don't know, man. I mean, it's kind of crazy, you know. I have all these questions here, but from my point of view, I just want to know probably, and like continuing as you were saying, you know, like in terms of relationship, I'd like to know like what is it, because everything nowadays is relationship, which is very important.
Yeah.
If it doesn't matter what kind of relationship, it could be a relationship just between two friends, you know. But what is the prerequisites of a healthy relationship? Like, what kind of friendships do you keep? How do you make friendship? What are the ingredients you use?
So from relationships, whether it's friendships or romantic relationships, I think they might have a little bit of a different prerequisite, but I think probably like the most common one, you know, is that communication aspect. You know, and a lot of people will say trust. A lot of people will say you gotta be honest. But I don't know. It's a little bit of a can of worms when you talk about trust and stuff like that. But I think communication, being open, being able to express yourself, whether it be you know, the most happiest message or a little bit of a dark message, being able to be able to communicate with somebody, you know, that person that you have a relationship, I think it speaks volumes, and I think that is the foundation of a healthy relationship. Because we spoke about dark thoughts, right? Last one. If you have a dark thought, if you have something that's taboo a bit, and you want to experience it with your partner, or you just want to share it with your partner to, you know, talk about something. If you can't talk about that, then it's like, you know, what are we doing here? Exactly. You know, because I think that it turns into, you know, keeping that relationship exciting, keeping that relationship, you know, thought-provoking.
Yeah.
So I think communication and being open and be able to express each other is definitely huge. Yeah. Definitely huge.
Yeah. I agree with you in terms of being open and that honesty, that authenticity, being able to express yourself fully with your partner. That's a beautiful one.
Right.
Yeah, no, those are also the longevity. It sustains because you guys are very open to one another. There is no secrets. There is no hidden agenda. It's just that you guys flow. It's just like a still
big flow. And I think healthy relationships are ones also that inspire the other person. You know, make that person want to be romantic. Yeah. A lot of times women are always like, he's not romantic. Like you know, the man will, you know, roll out the red carpet, the flowers, you know, paying for dinners and all of that stuff, and then after a while the man will stop doing these things. And I believe it's not because the man isn't romantic anymore. He's still a romantic person. It's just that woman's not influencing him to be romantic more. You know what I'm saying? Not giving him that inspiration or aspiration, because she might, you know, take it for granted. She might not be doing the same things that she was doing before in the relationship as well. And it took it, you know, it kind of like took a downturn. So he's not feeling that energy, you know? So I think when two people can inspire each other, when two people can like energize each other, I think that's a sign of a healthy relationship as well, for sure.
Definitely.
You know,
that's a good sign. You just hold that thought there, man. So welcome to the follow-up of the JollofCast. Man, this is gonna be another beautiful episode, you know, like we always do. Yes, every session is a beautiful one. So, but today's session is gonna be more focused on relationships, because these are things that we really need to address and see different perspectives. Right. You know? So you were talking about energizing each other. I like that. And from my point of view, I feel like this aspect of monitoring, like in a relationship and chasing, and do you do much of the chasing, or do you prefer organic relationship where you meet somebody and you guys just like each other the conversation is beautiful, and you know she likes you, and she knows that you guys are into each other, and you guys just go with the flow. Or do you prefer like chasing her and she wants to be chased? You write her and she takes her time responding. You know, do you like that kind of relationship? Or?
I don't know. I mean, I think the chase, there's some type of chase in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when we have all these like gender roles and things like this. The man is supposed to be the initiator and things like this. So I wouldn't say I like to chase, but I do like to, if I'm feeling the vibe, if I know that person, you know, is gonna be feeling the same about me, then I can initiate. I can initiate enough. But if I feel like I'm chasing, like if I'm hitting you up and you're not responding, or if I'm inviting you out and you're not responding, or you're making up all these excuses and things like that, then I'm gonna feel like I'm chasing, and then that's when the chase stops. You know, but I feel like the chase, and when you ultimately get something, it's because there's an energy coming back at you, like, okay, yeah, you just gotta try a little bit more. Okay, yeah, you gotta try a little bit more. But if you're just trying, and there's no type of sign that it's gonna work, it's gonna happen, then it's like, all right, you got it. You know, move on to the next one. You know.
I have a little bit of a problem with this, and I get the part of gender roles, but I have a little bit of a problem with this. You know, texting someone and they're taking their time. I feel like sometimes, you know, if I like somebody and they write to me and I see the message, unless I'm in a kind of a meeting and I don't respond back, but I like to respond to people fast. You know, sometimes you could text somebody and they do like you, but they wanna play the game. Yeah. You know, they wanna play this game. Like, if I respond too quickly, he might think that I'm desperate. But it's why playing this game?
It should just be the energy behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you feel it, respond. If you don't respond. You know, it's because then I think it turns into a slippery slope. It turns into something where if you expect someone to respond all the time because they've been responding and they don't, then it's like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? But I think what happens is one of the people in the party, right? One of the people in the relationship think that they're supposed to do it, like it's an obligatory thing, right? Okay. So they say, oh, I have to respond, or I have to do this. But then when they don't want to do it at all, they don't feel like doing it, then it creates a problem. So I say to that person, kind of like what you were alluding to, if you feel like it, do it. If you don't feel like it, don't do it, which is not going to be bad, you know, because I think the other person will feel it too, you know, but don't make it like a duty, because then when you stop doing it, then there's going to be some misunderstanding. Exactly. You know? I think about that all the time, like, what is the new ways of interacting with people, you know?
There are many new ways, but I don't know. See, to be honest with you, I've tried the new ways, but I prefer the old school style. You know, okay. There are certain things that for me, I don't feel like it's a conversation. In terms of even when somebody engages in a conversation with a person, and you guys feel the vibe, it's energy. You feel the energy. And you just want to be real with one another, you know. And there was a person that I met once, you know, back, and we're still having a cool conversation. Sometimes it doesn't have to lead to a relationship. You guys just become friends because you're sharing information that is positive. Yeah. It entices you. The person is giving you just those kind of motivation of life, and you guys are just real with one another. You call the person up and say, "Hey man, I can't talk to you right now. I'll call you back." You know, I like that kind of, like, it's
open communication.
It's open communication.
Yeah,
there is no. I'm not afraid to talk to this person. I don't have no fear.
Right.
Sometimes you want to talk to someone and then you're holding your phone. You're thinking, what am I gonna text? That's bad. Because if you don't know what to text to somebody, you know, somebody responds, somebody writes you a message and you don't know what to say, and you keep looking at the message and you don't know what to say. You don't want to open the message because you don't know what to say.
Right.
So that's the problem. Probably the chemistry is lacking.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you feel like it's gonna be a force, just leave it alone. Exactly. You know, go to the next day or go to the next hour, and you know, wait until that real authentic response comes. You know, that real authentic hook or that transition where you guys can really like, you know, play off that. I think that's important. I think that's really important. What's your definition of cheating? Because people sometimes have different definitions of, or you know, they see it in a different way. What's your definition of cheating? What does it mean for you?
Cheating is having a flirtatious conversation with them.
So just a flirtatious conversation.
Yes.
But what's flirtatious? Is it like at the bar, you have a drink, you're talking to somebody at the bar, you guys are laughing together? And...
No. I mean, if it's just laughing and chatting with somebody else, that's not flirtatious. I mean, flirtatious, like in terms of like, somebody asks like a guy asks for your number, he likes you, he wants to take you out for a drink, and you told the dude that, hey man, I have a boyfriend, and he said, it's okay. And you give the guy your number, you guys exchange Instagram, you guys start chatting, you're going out, hanging out. That's really flirtation.
Yeah.
Because the guy doesn't want to be your friend. He wants
something from you, yeah.
So I feel like that's really, just for the fact that you're talking to somebody and you haven't told me about it. Because if it wasn't something we should discuss it, hey man, I met this person, a really nice person, but that's already the genesis of cheating.
When do you start the timeline? Oh, when is it cheating in a relationship timeline? Like, up until what point is it not cheating? Like when you meet somebody, right? Whether it be on Bumble, Tinder, off the street, and you start talking to each other, and something might happen. Like shit, tonight it could happen. You guys bump into each other, and something's going on. Boom, but you guys like each other. The next week you hang out. You guys starting to talk. If she were to speak to somebody and exchange numbers in the second week or third week that you guys are talking, is that cheating?
No, that's not cheating.
Okay.
If we haven't initiated it officially yet, if it's not an officially announced that we are in a relationship, it's not cheating. I mean, if we are still on the talking phase, definitely, because I could still be doing the same. So I don't find it. I mean, at the end of the day, if we have both cemented what we have, at that moment, I think that everybody should get their shit together. You know, whatever you were doing previously shouldn't interfere in what we are going to have.
That makes sense. What you've been married, right?
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of talk of cheating when in marriage, you know, but then a lot of times these marriages, they stay together because, you know, they have so much invested in it. They have children, they might have children, they might share accounts and, you know, all these business things that might be tying them together, so they end up staying in it. Should that be also a deal breaker? Or would it be a deal breaker for you? For example, if you're married and and your spouse ends up cheating?
In marriage, I think in marriage, if someone cheats in marriage, it's of course a deal breaker. But to be honest with you, I mean, it really depends. I have friends that have been, you know, they have been in situations like that, and they cemented it and they did counseling. But I mean, I'll speak for myself. Cheating is not a good thing because I've done it. I mean, in my past.
Right.
But I mean, it's painful.
It sure is.
Psychologically speaking, it's a very harmful thing to do to somebody else. You know, that somebody gives you themselves, they love you, and then you go out. And I think after that, the relationship might not be the same because some people cannot deal with it mentally.
Yeah, true.
Especially you have to be with a person, and then your mind just flips, and you start thinking, is he
causes doubt?
Questioning. Is he thinking about this girl? Is he making love to me? Or is he thinking about this girl? It causes you to doubt you, and it also affects your day-to-day life, even at your work.
It's tough. No, you're absolutely right. You know, I've actually, you know, in my past, I've definitely been the perpetrator, of such acts, of said acts, and it's definitely, you know, put a greatest toll on me, you know, for a time. Obviously, the person that it affected as well was in this, you know, unfortunate situation, but you know, it's tough. It's tough. Obviously, you learn a lot of lessons through it. Anything in life, you know, you go through it and you try to take, you know, it's kind of crazy to say, you try to take the best things that you can take out of even a crazy situation, right? But you know, cheating is definitely something that I've experienced from my side, being the perpetrator, and the opposite side being the perpetrator. So yeah, definitely that would be a deal breaker probably for me as well. You know, I have a little bit of a different, you know, outlook on what it means to cheat. But I don't know. I think it's circumstantial. You know, sometimes it's a little bit circumstantial. Sometimes you have people that are like very flirtatious. That's like in their nature, and they may be out at a party or they may be out at some event, and just the way that they interact, it could suggest that they might be interested in somebody, right? And like the man sees this girl who's very flirtatious and she's very like, you know, animated, and he thinks that she likes him, so he like starts to approach her, and because she wants to feel like she doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, or she doesn't want to really, you know, she gives him the number, so they start chatting and stuff like this. But then it has to get to a certain point where you have to, you know, make a boundary, and if something's crossed, then something's crossed, you know, because a lot of times too, women don't suggest things, right? But things start to happen because the man thinks that she's suggesting. But I think that's when, you know, boundaries have to be enforced, and they have to have this open communication where it's saying, okay, hey, I was just flirting, having a good time. I don't want this and this and this and that. I have someone, and you know, we can just be friends. But if it goes across that, then obviously, you know, you're in a different situation.
So women that do such things, there are men that like it. They like the women to be flirtatious.
That's true.
It gets them going, you know. It gets them happy. That's how they live. They like to live life on the edge. But there are people that are more laid back. I'm more of a laid back person. You know? I'm more chilled. I like to. So for me, to be with a girl or to be with a woman that does such a thing, it's mentally for me it's not healthy.
Gotcha.
But I like more of the. I like to be in a peaceful state at all times, so that I can handle my day-to-day processes. I'm very emotional, to be honest with you. I'm an emotional person. And when such a thing happens, it upsets me. It puts me in a very, it fucks me up generally. You know, it affects my work. I think a lot. You know, so
speaking of other things that make a good relationship or a healthy relationship, I think peace is one of the things as well. Having the peace of mind. Being able to wake up and feel good, go to sleep and feel good, you know what I'm saying? Not have to worry if there's any tension going on in the relationship. You know, but that also kind of coincides with the open, you know, communication, and just having just peace. Because I think when you have peace, you can wake up great, you know? Your day-to-day is just something that's smooth. You're going to work feeling good. You're going to the grocery store feeling good. You know, you're going to work out feeling great, and that just helps your whole, you know, hormones and your mind and things like that. So that's definitely one of the things that I cherish in the relationship is that peace of mind, peace atmosphere.
And I think it's because you have experienced it, but there are people that haven't experienced peace. They want problem. They like problems.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't experienced peace, so they don't get to appreciate it. But I mean, peacefulness is one of the most, for me, it's one of the most beautiful things to be in a relationship. Waking up to your other significant, just being harmonious. You know, yes, there are gonna be issues, there are gonna be problems, but then when you guys have peace as the anchor of that relationship, you guys are always, so even when the problems come, you guys are gonna solve them peacefully. Exactly. Because you guys are like level
team. You're on the team.
Team player.
Yeah, on the team. So we're in Hungary. Yeah. We're in Europe, right? We're talking about relationships, right? One hot topic, I think that transcends the time, right, is interracial relationships. So we're now here in Hungary. We're now here in Europe, and I've been here, you know, many years, or you know, I've been around Europe many years, and in Asia where there's not much Black people either. So, interracial relationships. How do you feel about interracial relationships? Have you been in? And then I'll tell you about my experience.
I want,
You want to hear mine?
I want yours first.
All right, so like, you know, us coming together, there's a lot of questions that I have because I always want to hear the perspective of a different culture, but more importantly, like I want to hear the perspective of a black man who's an African man. So, you know, growing up in the USA, you know, there's multicultural everywhere. It's a multicultural, it's a melting pot. But there's still this thing where, you know, if a black man dates a white woman, it's looked at as, you know, the black man is taken away from his race. The white person or the white woman is taking the black man away from his race. The black man is a bit effeminate because he's not strong enough to date a black woman. And all these other crazy innuendos or these phrases that come along when a black man dates a white woman. But I would say, like in my perspective, it comes with access. Me being from New York City originally, you know, when I was living in New York City, I was young. I was not even almost a teenager yet, right? But my teenage years, I was in Vermont, which was totally white, right? So my access to women to date and to experience with wasn't black women, right? It was white women, because that was the sample that I had at the time, right?
Yeah.
So growing up in this time, I didn't really get to have such a weird response because there was no black woman to be like, oh, weird, you know. But as I got older and as I left Vermont to go to school, and then after I left from school, you know, live in the real world, I still had this interest in white women because that's what I knew, you know. Obviously, I dated different ethnicities, Spanish, you know, Middle Eastern, things of that nature. But, you know, being with white women, I've always, to be honest with you, I've always felt some type of way because, you know, I have black mother, I have black sisters, I love black people, you know what I'm saying? So I would never want someone to think that I'm not able to handle a black woman or that I don't appreciate black women. Or that I don't acknowledge them because I do. Like, black women are beautiful, you know. But it's just the sample. It's just the access. So being here in Europe, it's the same thing on a much larger scale. There's not many black women that you see. Ones that you do see, they're African for the most part, and then there's another different culture that goes inside that, you know. So that's why I've always wanted to know, okay, how do Africans see interracial relationships versus what black people see? Because then also, you know, there's also interracial relationships and people don't care about it. People don't say anything about it. But I think there's still this like black cloud over interracial relationships as far as the perspective of Americans. So yeah, that's my experience now. Obviously, I don't, I'm for it, you know. It's not something that I dislike. It's not something that I'm against. But I understand that there's this perspective and there's this, you know, way of thinking about interracial relationships that I want to hear, you know, someone else's perspective on.
From my perspective, I would say the first kiss I had was with a white person because I grew up in Germany.
Okay.
So, like you said, access. So yes, due to access, it was with a white girl. You know? But then I was lucky enough that in my teenage eras, I went back to Africa. So I've been on both sides of the fence.
Okay.
But from 80% of my friends are Africans, and my elder brother is married to a white German lady, half German, half Italian. So I would say, to be honest with you, it's a little bit tricky for me because I think the people that I've been exposed to, I would say that with the white people, it's different in some aspects.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, so what's the differences? Have you learned?
So the difference is that most of the white people, like not all of them, like 60%, let's just say, I'm just throwing any numbers around. It doesn't necessarily need to be true, but so 60% of the white people, sometimes it's due to experience. They want to date a black person.
Okay.
An experience. They want to gain an experience, or they're curious, or they look at you exotic. So
okay.
if I look at it from that perspective, it's not really a relationship. It's a relationship based on fetish. The person has some kind of they wanna fulfill. So with a black lady, it wouldn't be like that. A black lady will not date you because they want to fulfill some kind of fetish.
Right.
No, because
they're already there.
They're already there, you know. So you never really know if this person is with you because it's you. And then also in the relationship, it's kind of I think it's a little bit different because I felt like I couldn't be 100% myself. I have a very high energy. I feel like with the white women I've been, they couldn't handle my energy.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, in terms of I like music. I like dancing. I'm just someone that just randomly at midnight or like I play music and I just want to dance. But I feel like it's a cultural shock for them because most of them they're not like, I don't know how to put it, but you know,
I feel
we're
the energy levels differ a little bit sometimes.
You know, we also in African men, we are very loud people, and I felt that it's a little bit, it's been a little bit tricky, you know. Being on this side, you have to be a little bit different.
Right.
You have to be a little bit more in tune with their ways of upbringing,
right?
Which is very different from the way I was raised,
right?
You know, so it makes it more different with the sister. It's because we are already there.
Yeah.
We already understand what's up, you know. So I mean, in terms of mindset, it's completely different.
Sure.
Nowadays, it's kind of easy to be in a relationship. So
that's
easy.
True. That's true.
It's so easy.
That's true.
Like it's not, especially for like a fine dude like you. It's ABC. But back in the days, it was even though you're good looking and all that, but it was kind of difficult.
I think it would have been easy back in the day too.
Oh man, I trust
Come
you.
on.
Well, I mean back
back
in the days, the women didn't make it that easily, you know.
Yeah.
Now it's so. I mean, I don't know, man. It's I've been single for a long time now. I've been single. I was in a relationship, but it wasn't a relationship. So I feel like it's a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
But I like the solitude life.
You just like the solitude, freedom.
Yeah, take care of my family.
Yeah.
You know, be my own in my own head space. And I meet somebody that we vibe. We have the same principles. You know, because relationships are guided by principles.
Yeah, sure.
To find somebody that has principles nowadays, like, and they abide to those principles, it's difficult. I think so.
When we're younger, it's easier for us to move from relationship to relationship because we have this, you know, ambitious and go-get-it attitude, and we're not quite settled down yet, and we're living a fast life. Versus when we get older, we're starting to settle down, and we're starting to try to find families and, you know, develop families, develop our careers. So when we meet somebody and they might not be right for us, we might choose to stay in it because we say, okay, let's fight through it, let's learn through it, and ultimately let's build something, even though there's like these things that might not be so good.
Yeah.
So I think a big thing has to do with the time and place in your life. You know, if you're someone that's just trying to go get it and you're trying to make life good for you, and you're the number one person, then I think your relationships will tend to be probably faster and quicker, you know, until you meet that somebody, right? And then it's solid, right? But I think that person is always going to be like on the alert as to, is that person good for me or not? Red flag, you know, because I'm trying to make sure I'm good and I want and I want to take care of myself and make sure that I'm surrounded by, A+ situations at all time. Not that the person that wants to settle down doesn't want to be surrounded by A+, but they might be a little bit more lenient to people because their life is slowing down a little bit more, and they're not going to, nitpick at things that probably just because that person is just that person,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think relationship dynamic has changed over time. One being social media aspect, and I think two being because as people age, when people get older, things start to slow down and they consider different things at that time, from when they're 20 to when they're 30 or when they're 40.
What I see is that back in the times there was not so much money talk, but nowadays there is so much financial conversations before relationship. Like my parents' generation, like when I say relationship, I value my parents' relationship. No matter what they have been through, I respect it, because they knew their roles in a relationship. My father did not have to tell my mom that, hey, I'm gonna get this for you. He knows. He already knew that, hey man, I'm getting married to you, I'm gonna provide, I'm gonna take care of you. My mom knew that, okay, I'm gonna be a housewife, I'm gonna take care of the kids, I'm gonna nurture them.
Wow.
They knew this. They didn't have to have this conversation, oh, you're gonna take care of me, do you have money and all that. No. It's already an established mindset. But nowadays people are having this conversation, hey, I want a man that is wealthy, is rich. So I think that nowadays it's kind of they have turned it around, because if someone is getting into a relationship and the first thing they think about is money, I think it's already a problem, because
it's already a problem.
A person I don't know, I mean there are people out there that don't mind providing. It's kind of natural for them.
Yeah, but you think the money talk is you're saying women are expecting men to have a certain type of money, or the money talk is women wanting to make money, make a certain type of money?
No, I mean women they want the men to take care of them and provide and pay their bills, but they are so fixated on that part more than what
they have to do.
Yes, and more about the relationship itself. It's bigger than the money.
Yeah.
If you meet a good man that has his shit together, is working, and he knows what time it is, I don't think you have to tell him, hey man, he will do it naturally.
Right.
There are people out there. I think on the first day you're going out with a girl, you don't have to ask a girl to pay the bills. A smart person knows that, okay, I'm going to cover the bills. It's not even non-negotiable. So when they start having this conversation, are you going to get? It's a little bit weird.
So do you believe in gender roles? Like you believe that a man is supposed to do a certain thing and a woman is supposed to do a certain thing?
I mean, I do believe.
You believe?
I think that we are different. That's my opinion. We are different. It's just, for example, like the way you're built, you're more muscular and your bone structure is harder than a female, man. You think if you go to war with a female, she's gonna survive? Do you think like a girl your age could fight you physically?
No, but that has nothing to do with like the money and the financing thing.
No.
Now women are making money, so sometimes they're making more money than a man. So should gender roles still be implemented? Like if the woman's making more money than the man has to make sure he's provider. He has to do X, Y, and Z because he's the man, and the woman should be home, making dinner and staying with the kids.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Why should if a woman is making more money than the man and it's a principled woman, why should that even be some kind of situation?
Okay.
Because if a confident man meets a woman that is making more money than him, and he knows that, okay, probably if this woman is bringing in more and bread, probably they can have a conversation of how they're gonna do it.
Right.
But I don't think that it should be changed. That the man becomes a house
husband.
But there's nothing wrong for a man cooking and doing the normal course because they're a team. So it doesn't mean that the woman has to be in the kitchen. I don't believe in that because my dad was cooking most of the time. My mom was also running a business, you know. But I mean, at the end of the day, my father was providing.
Okay. He was doing his job. He was doing his part. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was very. There were times that my father probably had a problem. My mom would kick in, and she'll cover him up financially and say, okay, I got you. But they
didn't have to talk about it. It was just something that was just understood.
Yeah, so something that was just understood their own opinion. I think at the end of the day, people should know what they want and know what they like.
Right.
And you shouldn't subdue your opinions on other people. And believe me, I think there are a lot of people out there that have my opinion. They will share my opinion. They will share your opinion. And let's if I meet a good girl, if I meet a good lady, and we vibe, she doesn't have to tell me, buy me this, buy me that. I'll figure it out.
That's
what we figure it out.
And that's what I meant by like that inspiration, right? That energy, because I think the best relationships are when things happen natural. Like things they just develop and they just flow so naturally because that person is giving a certain type of energy, that other person is receiving it and giving. So it's just a dope flow. It's just a dope flow.
And when you meet a person like that, I mean, and you guys are vibing, you take care of them like it's yourself.
Right.
Yeah, you know, because that's you. In other words, you don't feel like it's a burden.
Yeah.
You love to do it. You know. But when you have the feeling that damn, it's a burden, then I think it's not a vibe. You gotta bounce. You gotta bounce it out. Has there ever been a situation where you ghosted someone?
Ghost, Ghost. You know, because sometimes I feel like people don't deserve an explanation, especially on a timeline. And then some people don't know how to communicate. If you were to tell them, this is not going the way that I wanted to, I'm going to move forward, or blah, 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 blah. So sometimes it's just like, so this is another buzzword, right? Ghosting somebody. But when we were growing up, we were also taught to ignore people that, you know, cause you strife, cause you drama, blah, 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 blah. So I feel like that's the same thing. If you're giving me drama, if you're giving me strife or grief, and it's just not a connection that I feel is worth anything, and we can't talk, then I'm gonna stop talking to you. Simple as that. I don't need to say, hello, so-and-so, this is this and this and that. I just won't talk to you anymore. Now, does it change deeper in a relationship if you put certain type of equity into it? Yes. If you're married, of course, right? You don't ghost your children.
No, of course not.
But like in the infancy of a relationship, if you guys are just dating and you don't want to speak to this person anymore, then get like Casper the ghost. It's fine. I don't care. You know. And
if they run into you somewhere on the street and they ask for an explanation, amen. Do you give them an explanation?
Of course. You know, there's been times where in the past I stopped talking to somebody. I might see them at a party and they'd be like, hey, what's up? Like, what happened? I'll just be like, you know, felt the vibe was off. I didn't feel like messaging you. I didn't feel like talking to you. So that's where it is. Now, those situations can turn into something cool. You know, those situations can turn into something fun. But ghosting means that I don't have time for you. I'm done speaking to you. You know, but that can be dangerous sometimes because I've had a situation where I ghosted someone because it just wasn't getting along, and then a month or two later, this person went through my Facebook, Instagram group, and started messaging everybody that I knew. It was like, Andre's this, Andre's that, he's blah, 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 blah. All because that person wanted to like engage with me, and I was like, I'm not engaging with you in this way. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, stress myself out engaging with you this way. And I was just like I'm finished, like I'm done. And she didn't believe me.
That's wild.
And I didn't respond anymore at all. And then I guess to wait for her to get her attention.
Yeah. To hit up your friends.
Hit up my friends. But still to this day, I never responded. I still never said anything to her like, "Hey, what are you doing, crazy person?" You know.
They say
I just let it go, and it left, and it ultimately, you know, fizzled out. So, yeah. Sometimes ghosting could give you peace.
Yeah.
Sometimes ghosting could give you a lot of drama. So pick your
I know about that drama. They say hell had no fury, like a woman's skull.
Yeah.
Dangerous game, man.
True indeed.
Dangerous game. That's why I always tell people that, hey man, don't play with women, man. In general, don't play with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Because respect women, man. Women are, if a woman is out to get you, man, you're in safe.
You're in trouble.
You're in safe. What do people misunderstand about you the most?
I think in the past, now, let's say now, what's misunderstood about me? It's a good question. I think people don't think I'm a serious person. I don't think people think, well, some people do. If you know me and you engage with me and you know, if we collab on something or we talk about something or we're trying to figure something out, you understand that I'm a very serious person. I'm quite strict person. Yeah. But on the outside looking in, and maybe even through relationships that I've been in, people might think that I'm not serious. And the reason being, I would say, is, and that's not a non-valid thing to think, especially if you have your own opinion. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm just saying, okay, it's valid. You think this way, that's fine. But the reason being is, I think it's because I am someone who is like, I process things really quick, and I don't sit and like really try to wait things out or talk things out or solve things that I feel like have no business giving energy to. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really quick to like move on through things, and that might come off as not being serious because I'm not focused on someone, or I'm not focused on trying to fix an issue, you know. So that could be a misconception. But I'm very serious, and I'm very observant, and I'm very open to, you know, many different things. I'm a bit of an emotional person too, but not emotional as outwardly emotional person, but inwardly I'm emotional. Like I love to talk about things. I love to express myself. If I have a thought, let's talk about it. You know, if you have something, I want to hear it from you as well. Yeah. So like on that note, I'm very serious. I'm also very task oriented. Like if something needs to be done, I'm gonna do it because I want to get things done. Like I said, I want to get things done. But I won't sit in it. Like I'm not gonna sit in something like when I was growing up, I used to work these like physical jobs where it would like be work with like putting things together, assembling things, or you know, building things. And my bosses would always be like, "How did you get that done so fast?" You know, like. And if you're on like a 7-hour shift, right, and they give you like 300 pieces to assemble, it would only take me like 2 or 3 hours. And they'd be like, well, now you have to do more work, but if you don't have any more work, then what are you supposed to do? I can't pay you anymore because you're supposed to, you know, you're not even working. But I just want to figure things out fast, get it done, and like, let's go on to the new thing, you know? So, yeah, very task oriented. I'm someone that also thinks about and can realize a solution in a situation quickly, you know. So maybe people think that, oh, you just kind of just, you know, out in the world living fast, not giving a care about anything. But I've actually thought about everything, you know, up until this point. I'm trying to work through everything, and I'm trying to now go on to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. So that could be a big misconception. Long-winded explanation, but me not being a serious person, I think.
And do you try sometimes probably to get people to understand this aspect about you?
It's tough because it's like, okay, how do I get people to understand that? Do I have to go up to everybody and be like, hey, guess what? I'm serious. I want my work to show, and I feel like I've done the work to show that I'm serious. Everything that I've done everything that I do or everything that I try to do it at a high level, you know?
Yeah.
I try to work with people. I try to bring people into my circle or bring people into what I'm trying to do to develop and do things more. So if you can't see that I'm someone that's very collaborative, if you can't see that I'm someone that's very open and I'm like trying to make my space better and trying to make your space better, then I guess it's just not the right person, you know?
Yeah.
I don't have time to, you know, make sure everybody knows that I'm serious person.
Yeah.
Not that I'm trying to prove anybody wrong or prove anybody right, but I'm just gonna keep going. And
Exactly.
I think, you know, ultimately, if you stay in your path and you stay true to who you are, even if it looks odd to somebody else, one day you're gonna meet that next odd person, and it's gonna take off. You know, so I'll stay odd. I'll stay the odd man out, and you know, do what I have to do to get to the next level.
Yeah.
Every time.
I also have the same problem.
Mm-hmm.
That people think that I'm not a serious person, and I think that because they don't know me on a personal level, and yes, they see because this person is always like, I'm always loving and you know, I'm always in my head space, you know, and probably because of the way I also do my things, and they always think that you're not serious at all, but I know I'm a serious person if you spend enough time with me, you know.
You know, I have to think another reason is because outside looking in, I've had like a lot of girlfriends.
Yeah.
Not serious girlfriends, which is also a misconception. Like I haven't dated someone seriously more than maybe like 3-4 times in my whole life. All the other people that I've met in my life were just like dates or just like meeting, getting to know somebody, hang out from time to time, etc., etc. So I think if people see that too, which is, to me, it's just silly, they think you're not serious. And why? Because you're not in a serious relationship all the time. But I think those people are the ones that are like, the people that are not trying to have fun. The people that are looking at you and saying, oh, why does he have that? Or why is he doing this? But they're not trying to do anything for their lives. The same people will be like, you know, closed-minded. If you try to bring them a new idea, or you try to bring them a new idea, they'll shun it away because they don't want to try something new. You know, the conservative.
Yeah.
So when they see someone that's more liberal, they see someone that's more like upbeat, trying to get it, they'd be like, oh, that person's not serious because they're not sitting down, working a 9 to 5 all the time, or sitting down, not doing anything outside, or sitting down, you know, having a person that they have to listen to and answer to, and they'd be like, oh, that person's not serious. But that's unfortunate because, you know, what I'm trying to do is just, you know, be enterprising and develop new ideas and help people develop new ideas and bring people in to help me develop new ideas. And it's a serious matter to me.
Exactly.
You know, so not that there's anything wrong with those people, but that's just their perspective, and that's okay. Everybody has their different perspective, and that's that, you know. But a big thing that I would say is people out there who might be like myself and like you know, don't ever let someone's opinion of you diminish what you're trying to do. You know, there's brilliant people that are in the clubs. I've met brilliant people at a cocktail party or brilliant people at a festival, you know. Don't let someone's negative thought of you not being serious affect you not being serious. You know, I can tell you a perfect example of this. You know, when I was in Poland, I was doing the parties and things of this nature, right? And when I would be out on the street or I would be somewhere, people would go up to me and they would say, oh, you're the party guy, you're the party boy. Now, at that time in my life, me coming from where I came from, that term was kind of like derogatory. Like you're not serious person, right?
I know what you mean.
So I would hear this and I'd be like, well, damn, I'm more than a party guy. Like I play football, I teach English, I do this and I do this and that, you know? But that term would like, ultimately, that term started to eat me up. Like people think you're a party guy. you know? And it ultimately was one of the reasons why, there's a few factors, but it was ultimately one of the reasons why I decided to leave Poland.
Oh.
This is actually like a revelation. People don't know this, but this is one of the reasons why I decided to leave, because I was just like, I can't keep having people come up to me like, you're a party guy, right?
Yeah.
But check this out. What if those people that kept saying I'm a party guy, that's the only way they knew how to say, oh, you're the guy that makes the cool parties. Oh, you're the guy that brings people together. Yeah. They didn't know how to say that. They could only say, you're the party guy, right?
Yeah.
And from my perspective, I'm just like, oh, they think that I'm not a serious person. Oh, they think that I'm not, doing things other than going to the parties. When, if I were to have this wherewithal, like years later, I'm just like, man, what if that was their perspective, right? If I had that wherewithal to just wear it as a badge of honor and say, yeah, I am the party guy. What's up? I'm that dude.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have diminished my reign as the party guy. Mm-hmm. It would have just amplified it, because now I would have accepted it as what I was doing, and I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. Yeah. I would have accepted it, and I would just kept building and building and building and building and building, right?
Yeah.
So those people that keep saying, oh, he's not serious. Why are you saying that I'm not serious? Because I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to, move and shake. I'm trying to create things. Well then, okay, then I guess I'm not serious. I'm not serious enough to not be doing anything. I'm not serious enough to be stagnant, So I guess I'm not a serious guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
but coming from all these experiences, mm-hmm. Like right now, will you tell yourself that you could ever allow someone's opinion to
not anymore,
to provoke your actions?
Not anymore.
Like that.
Because then, like if you the word serious, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, the word serious meant strict. The word serious meant conservative. The word serious meant, someone that's real chill.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'm not a serious person. In that term. But as you asked me before, when I said the misconception is that I'm not a serious person. I am a serious person when it comes to, making sure things get done. I mean, granted, look at me back then too. Like, I was getting things done. I was getting the party promotions done. I was getting the VIP list done. I was getting people to come to the party. I was creating my own party. So how can I not be serious if I'm making it happen? You know what I'm saying? But to your question, the one that you just asked, no, I can't let somebody's opinion affect me, because ultimately it has nothing to do with me.
Exactly.
It's just what you see and what you might perceive. But if I am doing my thing and I believe in myself, and I know that what I'm doing is not harming anybody and it's only really bringing people together, then how can I say your perception of what I'm doing is right? Because I know what I'm doing is not wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So no, I can't do that, especially after all the years that I've come and I've learned and I've been low and I've, been depressive and thinking about, oh man, like I missed out on so much, blah, 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 blah. I did it. I've learned and I needed that. I needed that time to understand now, okay, continue doing what you feel like doing.
Yeah.
Continue doing what you love, what brings you joy. Obviously what brings other people joy.
Exactly.
So whatever they say, whatever they want to say, good, wrong, indifferent is their opinion and they're entitled to that.
Exactly. I think we have, I don't know, we have been opinion pleasers, people pleasers.
Yeah.
That there's a point in your life that you have to, I think you have to realize that you can't please people's opinion, and it's a very dangerous thing to do, even because at the end of the day you're not living your life, you're living someone's opinion. And honestly, like you mentioning parties, I was doing parties here as well, and actually I love doing it. Yeah. And the reason why I was doing it is bringing people together and seeing them smiling and seeing them just being happy.
Yes.
And as long as that also generates happiness for me, I don't really, even I had people in my family and friends that they were saying the same thing. No, this guy is a party guy. He likes life. Liking life is a good thing. Should I hate life? I love life, you know. But it also got to me at some point because it was internal conversation. It was from outsiders. It would have been different. Because outsiders, you really don't care about what people say. But when it comes from internal people that are really your go-to people, like your family, your blood, then it affects you. It could affect you, and you probably want to change your route or do something more like something that has more value,
more serious,
more serious. But I also turn to and eradicate that thought, because at the end of the day, doing something that isn't giving you happiness, because these things that I was doing was bringing me happiness, was giving me a sense of living,
right?
And that's the only thing that people should do. The things that bring out the happiness in
100%. By the way, shout out to Andre Talks podcast, 3 Black Mics, which airs every Wednesday on YouTube, and then we're on Spotify as well. But you know, I want people to engage. I want people to say if they like the conversations, if they don't like the conversations, and if they're indifferent to the conversation. Because I feel like, when you have those hateful people, it kind of like checks you. Okay, some people might not like this. Okay, some people like this. Cool, and it can help you tailor your content. It can help tailor your ideas and things like that. So they say bad press is good press sometimes too. You know, sometimes that negative response is something that could empower you, can motivate you, can change some things. So I guess it's all needed.
And I think that sometimes many of these people they lack education. Yeah, because when you read the comment that they project, sometimes you feel like you can know that this person doesn't have a clue of what they're saying. Maybe they have a knowledge gap, or they have a feeling gap.
Sure.
They haven't experienced certain things, so they don't know what they're talking about. So sometimes it's just ignorant hatefulness.
True.
They're just ignorant with their hate. So they don't know where to exhibit it, and they just put it out there.
True indeed.
But does it affect you when somebody comes and spills out hate on your, maybe you post a picture on Instagram and somebody says something negative? Does it affect you?
I haven't had the experience, but I don't think it would affect me too much. You know. I don't know. I can't put myself in that space because I haven't experienced it, but I would probably laugh at it.
What has been so far one of your biggest failures, and what lessons did you gain from it?
Biggest failures,
or maybe biggest failure.
Maybe let's say not failure, but lessons. I think I've learned to cherish things more. Living fast, and I'm an ambitious person. I'm someone that wants more, and I want to like keep leveling up as much as I can, you know. But that can take a toll on a relationship, romantic relationships, of course, you know. Maybe some types of business relationships or friendships, right? But I've learned to cherish more. Like, if I feel like something is good, I feel like something is solid for me, I want to slow down and I want to focus on that, or at least put a lot of energy towards that to make it grow, to nurture that relationship, whatever the case may be. And I think that comes with me, like I kind of mentioned before, looking back on life now and being like, damn, that was a really cool moment, really cool situation, really cool contract, really cool person, that some of them I've kind of like fleeted away or kind of like thwarted away, but some of them I kept, and those things are still like relevant and prevalent in my life right now. So I can say, okay, yeah, I had some really cool shit back in the day, like really cool stuff going for me, that if I would have just honed in and like cherished more, things could have been different now. But I'm not, you know, I don't live with regret. I don't live with any type of like regret or what's the word? Grudges. I don't have any grudges. So I just look forward to tomorrow and the future to say, okay, if something comes along that's dope, it's going to alert you because now you know what to look for and stuff like that. And let's cherish it. Let's cherish it some more.
Yeah,
for sure.
I vibe with you on that point as well. You know, and appreciating patience and the moments, cherishing the moments. You know, like changing from living that fast lifestyle, and just calmly absorbing that moment. And understanding it more.
I mean, I feel like it depends on your capacity. It depends on what you can handle. You can have a lot of friends. You can have a big network. You can have, for example, if you're in the entertainment business, you can have 300 people on your, invite list. That's cool because that means you're really connecting with all those people. They know who you are. That's fine. But, cherishing those things that matter to you, that make you happy, and understand that you might be giving something to somebody else as well. You wouldn't want to cut off your relationship with someone knowing that they cherish you and they appreciate what you're doing for them as well. So that's a big thing. What about you? What in your relationships and the time that you spent coming up, spending time in Europe, spending time in Africa, what would you say are the biggest things that you've learned relationship wise, business, romantic, platonic,
It's in a nutshell, it's been actually very amazing.
Great.
It also helped me to be where I am right now, in terms of looking at it from not from a comparison perspective, but from a lessons. What are the lessons I can take from all these different regions? Well, before what I used to do is that I was comparing, and that was my mistake. I was comparing Germany with Cameroon. I said, damn. But when I went back from Germany to Cameroon, I said, fuck, man, this country is fucked up.
Yeah.
They don't have lights in the airport and all this shit. What is it? I'm drinking water from the, So I was doing a lot of comparison, and I could not enjoy the beauty of the place. So when I kicked away the comparison and I just said, this is what it is, I started enjoying it more. And just being appreciative of what is there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No, man. I mean, you've never been to Africa, right?
Never. Not yet. Not yet.
So we need to take you home, right?
Yes, I need to go home. I'm trying to go home. I'm trying to go home for a long time.
But which country in Africa will you say will be your first country you'd like to visit?
Ghana,
right?
That's
because that's where that's where your
I want to see Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, the Congo, Cameroon. I want to see all of Africa. I want to see it all. I want to see Morocco, Egypt, of course. I want to go and see, just like, man, I think Africa and the Middle East is the most beautiful place in the world. It's the most beautiful place in the world. So I want to be able to experience that for sure. See the history, like not even modern. I want to see ancient history.
Yeah.
I love this. I love ancient history. I love seeing statues, and I love reading about tribes and wars and all these things. And that's where things started. You know what I'm saying? So I want to have that air. I want to breathe that air and just walk through history. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. But then also, on the other side of the coin, it's just I want to see the people. I want to hear the voices. I want to hear the music. I want to taste the food. I want to see all the nuances that make Africa, Africa. You know what I'm saying? And the African people. And I think those are the things that you can't see on National Geographic.
No, you can see.
You can't hear it on Spotify. You can't see it on YouTube. You can't even talk. Like, I'm sure when you're in Africa, you're just a different person. Not a different person, but you look different. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way you probably talk and walk is just gonna be different. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a certain type of energy there.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to experience.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's completely different.
Yeah.
It's difficult to explain as an African. When you're in Africa.
Yeah. That's what I want to feel. Yeah, that. I want to go there and be like,
hey, man, Africa is a vibe, man.
Yeah.
It's a vibe. I haven't been to Ghana, but that's let's say, bucket list because I really want to visit the entire of Africa before my time runs up because there's so much. The things that there's so much history, you know, and the only way to really cherish and enjoy it is to go there. You know, hearing it from someone else is completely different. Who influences your fashion?
Good question.
Like, who influences your fashion? I like that.
I don't know. You know, my favorite time period of fashion is like the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, where it was just like classic, and men wore suits, and they wore driver caps, and they, you know, sometimes it was fitted, sometimes it was more loose. It was just classic browns, you know, earth tones, and then like on the street, it was like bomber jackets and corduroys pants or carpenter pants and like, you know, pimsoles, things like that. I like class. I love the town coats, trench coats.
Yeah.
I love. You'll always see me in the fall and winter with a long coat. I love the classic style. I love the classic fashion, and then I like the new. You know, I like the new stuff. I like, you know, the leather jackets. You know, different cuts, carrot cut jeans. You know, carrot cut pants and things of that nature. I like it all. And I really like when you can fuse it all and make it look like one nice, you know, little look. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. As far as an icon, I don't know. I would pick different ones. I don't know. Kanye West. I would pick. Rick Owens is dope because he's like, you know, it's monochrome, black and white. It's cool. Who else that I've seen that I'm like, okay, he's cool. I can dress like him. I don't know. Even Kanye West now, he's a little bit too futuristic, you know. But I mean, like, maybe 10 years ago, I was like, all right, cool, yeah, I could pick some stuff off of his lookbook. But I don't know. I think what I look at, like, if you looked at my Instagram, I save a lot of fashion looks, and it's a spectrum because I like. You would see jackets. You would see a lot of bomber jackets, denim jackets, leather jackets. Browns, blues, blacks, but you would also see some future stuff. You would see some, you know, modern. You would see some, you know, from the past as well. So it's a big mix. It's a big mix.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking, why I just wanted to pick your head was, I mean, where I feel like we have the same style. Because I was checking your profile out, and I really love the look and that a mix of everything and just making it your own style.
What about you? What are your style icons?
To be honest, that's a good question. You know, speaking of Kanye West, that's one of the person that I mean, in terms of always doing like one thing about Yeezy and why I chose him as my inspirational when it comes to fashion is that he owns his look, he owns his fashion. You know, I feel like his style has always transcended. He has always been way ahead of our time, and his style is kind of versatile.
Sure.
You know, he's not one dimensional. I fall in this line. I don't have one style of I'm very versatile. Yeah. Sometimes I want to be like that, and it's all like trying new things. You know, trying how this would look like. You know, because I think it first and I execute it. So but I'm more of the old school, you mean the vintage old school, the leather hat, you know, the Kangol, you know, I love that, you know, the fitted the old school kind of and suits. I love that. I love all those kind of mixing it with the with the Western style or a little bit of Western style mixed with African style, you know.
I like that too.
Just jam box all of it together and see how you know. I think fashion is daring.
Yeah.
Fashion is daring.
You gotta be confident. You have to be daring sometimes too, because fashion is like what you do with it. You know what I'm saying? Or style is what you do with it. Fashion is like what is out there and what you can take from, but you make your own style, and that's what it's all about. And I appreciate when people like, you know, you see people wearing, I don't know, plastic bag, you know, on this, but I don't know, they do it in a certain type of way where the silhouette looks dope. They might layer it some type of crazy. They have some cool boots. It's like, that's a plastic bag, but it looks cool. You know, I can appreciate things like that for sure. That's why I think, you know, some designers like Rick Owens, a little bit of like avant-garde, you know, a little bit, you know, kind of odd asymmetric cuts and tight and knots and things like this, but some of the stuff is like really, really dope. Some of the stuff is really, really dope. And I like people who push the envelope forward, like fashion designers, movie writers, and things of that nature, of course, at the same time. So
even in Visual, I really, I mean, he's always in peace. That was also a very he was also very I mean, his style was also very. There's this guy in South Africa, they call him David Saleh. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it. He's also has a very unique, you know, he has a very unique style. And we come to the end of another beautiful episode of the JollofCast. It's always a pleasure sitting with my king, you know, Dre himself.
So I'm the king. I'm the king in this episode.
You're always the king. You're always the king, man.
Cool.
So it's always a very pleasant time to sit with Dre. So, man, thank you guys for being with us again. I wish you guys stay blessed, stay safe, take care of yourself, make sure you drink water, very important. And see you guys on the other side, man.
Take care. Thanks for having me again, man.
It's a blessing, man.
Yes,
sir.
And cut.